Am I mute? There we go. I can hear myself.
You're live!
Live. Texas Barbecue Show here. I have not yet. I'm going to come up with my own little intro saying something that's cool and I can be consistent with, because this is my second go around. How is everybody doing? For those tuning in, I'm Brandon Anderson, chef and pitmaster of Rack Attack Barbecue and the Texas Barbecue Show. This is season 1, episode 2.
Yeah. Oui, monsieur, oui. Season 1, episode 2.
How was your weekend?
Not bad, man. Not bad. It's getting hot out.
What'd you do? Did you go down to Austin and stay busy, or did you actually enjoy yourself?
Yeah.
Wow, I got 12
both.
people on here. What?
So, oh, by the way, hey, do you have callers calling in today?
I don't have any specific, but towards the last 15 minutes, I'll share the hotline on Facebook, and someone can call in with some Q&As.
All right, just checking.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing set in stone right now. Okay, so my agenda is going to be a weekend overview for the first couple minutes. So we asked Patrick Mosher what he did this weekend. He worked, right?
Well, yeah, some.
Okay.
I mean, you know.
So
Can't be all work and no play, right?
correct. Oh, yeah, definitely. Man, this weekend I cooked a bunch of food.
What'd you cook this weekend?
We did some prime tomahawks. We did ribeyes.
Oh, slow down there. Slow down there. Prime tomahawks.
Prime ribeyes
Ooh.
and prime tomahawk steaks.
Ooh.
We did some St. Louis cut spare ribs.
Mm.
I smoked a brisket.
I figure if I'm going to drool, I might as well get the whole entire front of my jacket wet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I got some awesome friends and some new friends that I've recently, met over the past month. Awesome people I cooked for this weekend. Party Foul Steve. Hey Steve. Chad Prather and Bryson. We had an awesome little get together at my house Saturday night, and Bryson did acoustic guitar in the driveway, and then Chad jumped on the last hour and sang along. And talk about
sounds like a good time right there, man.
Talk about awesome friends and just good life, and just shit's awesome.
little country music and little powwow there, man. That's awesome.
Oh, talk about a private, intimate event. Now, intimate kind of seemed a little weird, but
no, that's right.
It was an
that's
awesome
the right word.
Private acoustic. I feel lucky. I felt proud to have these people at my house. That's just, I'm doing something right,
blessed.
Right? Blessed. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag blessed. That's corny. So yeah, so we did some. I did some brisket. We did the tomahawk ribeyes. We did regular ribeye steaks. I think those are the boneless ones. I did some St. Louis ribs. I did some of my Rack Attack beans, which is ranch style beans with candied smoked bacon, as well as some diced green onion sausage. Gosh, what else did I do? My wife is probably chiming in somewhere saying, you did this.
But wait, there's more.
There's always more.
Isn't there, though?
And that was just day one of the weekend. So we all hung out. We did that. I'd cook some good food. And then, Sunday we rode over to Chad's house and we used the big green egg. So that was my first time to use a ceramic grill.
What'd you think?
I actually liked it.
Those things are pretty badass.
I've wanted, obviously, we talked about trying to get me in Kamado or Prime or Primo grills, just because the versatility, just like with my pellet smokers, I can, bake, sear, roast. You can gain a bigger audience with all these different techniques of food and obviously eat different types of food other than your normal, staples of barbecue. That
brick lining that they have in there is so cool because it holds the heat so well. And even after you open it. Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, well, I don't have a preference. Like, I'll cook on anything. So, give me fire. I'm good.
Right. Yeah, so that was fun. We did some chicken wings and some chicken thighs on it. We used the B&B charcoal, the championship blend chips. Sprinkled that on top of the charcoal, and dang, that was good. I got Instagram.
Next time you don't bring food with you, you don't get to do a show. No, I'm joking, man. No, look, you don't feel like you got to bring food every time, but we will probably not complain if you do.
Correct. Oh yeah. So you check out the Instagram at Rack Attack BBQ, at the Texas Barbecue Show, or Facebook, and you'll see the pictures from this weekend and see all the fun we had. So my next, I think I had, here, let me do this. Sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I got friends thinking they're funny sending me text messages. They must be watching, so I guess I got their attention, obviously. Let's see what is on the agenda. So we got weekend overview, and then I'm going to go back to the spare ribs and baby back ribs. I know last week being it was my first show, I was just really part nervous, part just trying to throw as much stuff out there to keep time going. But I talked about where the baby back rib comes from, or the St. Louis cut, or the spare rib. So I had to go back and look just so I can say this all correctly and people can trust me, right? So the baby back rib comes off the loin. So just like with a deer, this is my reference. You got your tenderloins up towards the back of the backbone. And so your baby backs are coming right off that loin. Then you got your spare ribs right by the belly. So you can take a pork belly, you can take the spare rib, trim it off, then you can trim the spare rib down to a St. Louis cut. So St. Louis cut is only a cut of a spare rib. It's not its own separate entity or component of the pig. So that is there's the explanation from last week.
Thank you.
I knew I needed to finish that one.
I knew you'd come in with the answer this week.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you didn't.
And then so let's see. So another deal. Let's see. So let me do my agenda first, and then I will go off topic on other barbecue cool stuff. So let's do this. So reverse flow smoker. This kind of goes back to last week in regards to the wood. So I guess I'm going to jump to my topic number 4 in regards to wood. So reverse flow smokers versus offset. For me, I had a friendly argument with a buddy in regards to his smoker does this, my smoker does that, my time cooking briskets is this, and his time is that. And I was thinking the way reverse flow works, you got your firebox, you have your obviously your cooking chamber, but you have a plate in there that is your tuning plate is what they're called. So your smoke and your heat flows one direction, comes up, and then flows right back out and then out the stack. So your stack and your firebox are on one side. Your offset smoker is offset. Firebox, offset of that side is your stack. For me, I'm doing briskets at 10, 11 pounds. They're getting done no later and this is at anywhere from 190 to 225 degrees. And I'm getting done within 12 hours max. Now, my buddy had, and he's probably listening. This is all for conversation and to, educational purposes and enlightenment. He's doing his sometimes 14, 15 hours. Well, I was thinking for mine, maybe mine are a little bit trimmed, a little bit less as heavy, but also I'm getting smoke and heat at one point, getting smoke and heat again. So it's almost like it's cooking twice in one revolution, and just thinking that way. So yeah, one offset is just nothing but boom. It's weird. Am I making sense? I'm thinking we're cooking double time with a reverse flow because we have twice the.
So boom, you have flow forward and then flow back, right?
Right. So it's hitting it twice versus offset is done. It's past
yeah.
it.
So with offset, because the tinder box, like the box, the smoke box is off to the side. So there's basically two boxes. You have one that's the grill, like the yeah, it looks like it's basically a grill.
Right.
And then to the left or right of that, you have the box, that's the smoke box. And then it flows over the meat and out the stack on the opposite end. But you're right. I think you are reducing time by having, something that has a reverse flow, because those tuning plates are a big deal. How much heat is let out during the initial push forward, from the smoke box forward, and
that side is always hotter, and there is sometimes a chance where if it does get too hot, that tuning plate really gets hot. Just like with a pellet grill, you got your deflector shield on, which is the tuning plate on a bigger smoker, and that could really char or burn up your brisket or whatever you're cooking on it. But
burnt ends, baby, burnt ends.
I'm getting color within 6 hours of my smoke.
That's quick.
So
That's awesome.
So then at that point I'm already wrapping. So then I'm saving my bark. I'm not losing it, but I'm speeding up then my process at that 6 hour mark too. So that's why I'm getting to this 11 hour cook time on And it's whether, no matter if it's 4 briskets or 12, the time frames are the same. Now you would think, okay, you got 6 pieces of meat soaking in this heat, but then you throw in 12, that's more heat needing to be soaked in, so that would mean more time. That's not the case on this reverse flow. And maybe that's either a reverse flow technical deal, that's a good thing, or East Texas Smoker Company just built their stuff just right.
It's okay. You can say the S word.
Well, I should. I'm just getting real. I'm getting real passionate on this. I love my reverse flow. I mean, it's working. It's doing good things. Obviously, everyone that's eating my food, there's like, man, that's pretty. That's pretty good. There's a science to reverse flow, and there's a reason why they're made.
Absolutely.
I mean, the bottom line. So that's my rant on reverse flow versus offset. And there's nothing wrong with an offset. I've just started with a reverse flow, and there's no going back. I think there's a saying with something about, never go back, but I won't say it.
Yeah, once you go reverse flow for your brisket.
What is next? So we talked about the spare rib. So topic of the day, Richard Brandt, here you go. And I think, who else was it? Chris Campbell, I think, wanted to hear about it. Dan Wood said, radiant heat from the plate speeds up the cook. I'll go with that, as long as it's not burning it. That's all that matters. So topic of the day, tri-tip roast, which actually, that's one of the things I cooked on Friday. I did a tri-tip chili. We were talking about tri-tip last week, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to make some tri-tip chili. So for those that want to know how to do smoke a tri-tip and maybe make tacos with it or make a chili, you're going to smoke it at 275. I'll make a video of this. This will be kind of quick. So 275, use a pellet grill or use your offset smoker. Any smoker or pellet grill, don't use your oven. This is geared towards smoking. So smoke it at 275, and you can lather it. First off, let's go backwards. Lather it with some hot sauce. Choose your favorite hot sauce. Lather it up. Do your sprinkle, your seasoning sprinkle, and put it on that smoker at 275. I like to use a ThermoWorks dot or my MK4 ThermaPen. And once that temperature hits 115 internal, pull it off, crank up the heat, and use some grill grates. I don't know if y'all can see these right here. These are every single thing that I utilize at the house. Those will get your sear marks, non-flare up, even heat. Use them, grillgrate.com. So 115, you pull it off, put on the grill grates, crank up the heat to about, so we're at 275, crank it up to 400 on the smoker. And while you're getting your offset smoker, obviously a pellet smoker will get up there a little bit quicker. Take your offset smoker, wrap this tri-tip in some foil, let it hang out for a minute while you get that smoke up and that fire up. But use the grill grates, put it down on there, press down a little bit, good little push on there, or use a weight. Press it down, you'll get those hash marks, about 2.5 minutes. Flip it over. Usually people will pick it up, turn it to get those crosshairs, but we're not going to do that right now because we're going to actually cook it evenly through the whole process. So turn it around, press down a little bit again, 2.5 minutes. Flip it back over, turn it 90 degrees, then you'll get that hash mark. Same time, 2.5.
So you're actually going one side, then flipping to the opposite. Like, so if you're searing one side, you're going to actually go to the top side now, flip it over.
Yeah, so
completely
boom,
flip it over.
Boom,
Nice.
And then boom this way, and then boom.
That's the key to making
way.
sure that your meat is not, your steak is not cooked on one side and rare on the other as well.
Yeah, that way it'll cook evenly. And then basically you'll use the dot or your ThermaPen till it hits 125. So basically you're at 246. You're about 9 minutes in from the beginning. You put it on the grill grates to finish. And that's at, obviously 125. That's medium rare. And any tri-tip, that's what you want to do. That is my preferred method. It's going to stay juicy. The flavor, just do it and thank me later.
It's a good cut. It's really flavorful. You didn't happen to write those down, did you?
Yeah, I'm going to make an actual,
okay, cool.
That'll be, that'll be a part of Tutorial Thursdays.
Nice.
So,
I was wondering if you're going to let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, so tomorrow I will be videoing. These will not be live videos for now. They will be pre-recorded. That way I can do a little bit of a voiceover to really give the exact directions on it. But we'll be doing tomorrow a smoked Gouda cheese grits with lobster tail grilled and Axis backstrap. Now, of course, you can use any cow steak, but I'm going to get rid of all my venison
you can't.
In the garage.
If you're using Axis, we got to use Axis, man.
You better go out and shoot it. But yeah, so I'm going to start starting Thursday. We're going to have a tutorial Thursdays. It'll be every Thursday. There will be a awesome little how-to recipe on anything grilling, anything barbecue. So that'll start this Thursday, guys. Let's see. Yeah, give it a go, Richard. Sorry. So next, we were talking about wood earlier, and we talked about it at the end of the show last week. My buddy said that pecan burns too fast. Fair enough. But for me, I want that end result, so I'm going to pay a little extra. I'm not going to shortcut because it might cost me $30 extra for that whole quart of wood or quarter wood. I'm going to do what I need to do to get that final result and try to figure out where to make ends meet on other aspects of the cooking. And I won't cut corners. I'm not talking about using a cheap cut of beef because I want to spend more money on the wood. If you got a recipe or you got some momentum with a certain deal, don't steer away because it costs more. See, that kind of doesn't make sense, but figure it out. Figure it out, right, Patrick? See, I kind of put myself in a corner on that one.
Yeah. So hey, man, don't worry. So you know what you do is like, hey, look, bird, or squirrel, just deflect. And no, so talk me through that one more time. So
pecan wood burns fast. My buddy Brandon, he talked about that last week. Mm-hmm. So he does a mixture of, I believe it was 60-40. So he uses, basically, it would be 2 logs of post oak versus, and then 1 log of pecan, where on my offset smoker, I'm using all pecan. Now, I might literally, if I narrowed it down to how much a piece of each 16 log cost, I might spend an extra $10 every cook. But every cook, I'm turning out profit money. It doesn't make sense to me to, I need that extra $10. I'm going to downgrade my product.
Yeah.
And not get all that flavor that I'm doing. And it's all personal preference. So for me, I'm using 100% pecan. Now on my pellet smokers, this is something B&B does, which I think is very smart. They don't have a bag that says 100% hickory or 100% pecan, where I think Lumberjack they have their competition blend, then they have 100% hickory, which is literally 100% of that particular wood. B&B uses a 60-40 mix in their pellets. Mm-hmm. So their little pellets is 60 oak, 40%.
40, whatever the other wood is.
Which it makes sense because and it also is great because how efficient the pellet smokers are. You're not running through a bunch anyways.
Yeah.
You got the longevity of that smoke and that fire with the oak, but you still got your flavor that you're going for. And so to me, that is actually a smart move. And maybe I'll go with, 2-in-1 on my offset smoker. But for me, the flavor and everything I'm getting with my seasonings versus with the wood, I'm not reverting back to something else.
Well, it could also be that, your buddy might be just a thought. Maybe because it burns faster. It's a hands-on, you
got to tend that fire every 45 minutes versus hour and a half.
Yeah. So, just depending on what you're doing, what else you got going on. And I know.
Make time.
Well,
Figure it out.
Look, I'm real busy at the studio
band.
here.
I don't have employees, but I'm making it work. So that was my little deal on pecan. If you find something that works for you, keep going. Don't listen to someone else. And I'm not saying, Brandon, you're not saying something that's incorrect, but find your niche, do what you do, and keep pushing forward. So what else would I have? I'm getting through this too quick.
No, there's always lots of stuff to talk about.
We got 30 minutes. Well, that's good because I want 15 minutes of Q&A. So that means I got 18 minutes to
look,
talk
there's
about something.
I could always think of something to ask.
So who do I want to give?
Actually, hey,
Yeah.
what's your favorite cut of meat to work with?
My favorite
when you're
is
smoking
ribs.
Ribs?
It's always been ribs. Yeah, that's what I started cooking before professionally or business wise. It was always ribs. Just something about, I don't know why. There's so many steps in ribs versus brisket. I mean, you got more steps in ribs. That's why on a catering menu you'll see +4 per person if you're asking for ribs.
Absolutely.
But I guess that gave me an advantage of knowing. I'm used to doing all these extra steps. Now I can take a step back and really focus on the shorter steps with the brisket, which is the center of the plate meal.
Nice job, man. Center of the plate. The star of the show.
Yeah, star of the show.
So have you ever worked with anything like tenderloins where you smoke a tenderloin and just, hour and a half, well, probably an hour, but depending on the temp, and just use that. You can slice it thin or you can, like the whole tenderloin.
Pork tenderloin's the only...
Really?
I haven't messed with a beef tenderloin yet. Those are expensive.
We'll do that. Well, we'll do that sometime, though. We'll find a special occasion, figure out a reason to do it. It's if you want to do a nice high-end party, like a really... Although your food's pretty damn good. It's all
No, I'm down. What are we talking about?
So like if somebody has, I don't know, a wedding party or something, but to smoke the whole tenderloin, and then have that, like, you set up a carving station where somebody just slices it off and, he puts it on the plate. That's the only fancy part, is that they carve it to order. Dude, we could do some fun stuff.
I'm down.
I'll give you all the secrets later.
Okay.
Can't give everybody them. Got to talk off the air.
So let's see. I'm sure I've told what I use at home, and these are shameless plugs for all these people. And, like I said before, if you trust me, you'll trust the process and the products. We got duck fat spray. Use that as a binder. We got suckle busters. That's my number one favorite pork seasoning. I see John just posted on here. We talked about that just recently, how I like the hog waller honey. This has some awesome honey powder in it. This thing is legit. Y'all can get that at Barbecue Galores, I believe, Atwood's, Ace Hardware's, or online on their website. And then, of course, the grill grates to get those nice sear marks and that even cooking. The biggest thing, I think, and it's not even the grill marks for me on the grill grates, is the even cooking. You don't have to worry about one side being too hot. It's literally even all the way across.
So there was I worked up at Fred's Hickory Inn in Bentonville. It was an iconic restaurant that burned down. I helped reopen it. And the grill cook that was there had been working there since before I was born. And his name was John. And he's still there. And Johnny Mack. And I gave him a hard time one time because he didn't have the perfect hash marks on there, And he goes, hey, Fred, the owner, he's a long time ago, he goes, what do you mean I don't have to have perfect hash marks? He goes, man, we aren't Western Sizzling. Cook the steak.
That's funny.
Yeah, actually, Western Sizzling, that's been gone since before you were born, probably. But
yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was a steakhouse way back when. I like that. It looks pretty. I like that presentation.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the products I use, and of course I use a ThermoWorks for everything to check temp. You got to check temp. I mean, yes, you can do it by feel and by color, but the end result at the very end, you want to make sure, for one, poultry is always cooked either.
165.
You want it to be cooked way past you don't want it undercooked, basically, is all I'm getting at.
So how does that work real quick?
The dot?
Uh-huh.
The dot is actually, it's not wireless. It does have, I haven't even opened it. I got it from them not too long ago. So you'll have your dial and you'll have a meat probe.
Okay, so it does have a probe. Okay.
Yeah, it's got a probe that you'll stick into the meat, and you can put that on the outside of the smoker.
Very cool.
To and read your temp from a little bit far away. That's why it's so big.
Look at that, dude! You burned 30 minutes.
Good 16 seconds. So if y'all see this edge up I got on that beard, that's from Founders Barbershop down in there, Burleson, Texas. I appreciate it, Ben. Y'all getting me hooked up, and Jimmy. So there's that plug. You like that? You like plugs, Patrick?
What's that?
You like plugs?
Yeah.
Drain plugs, not.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @FoodBizPro. Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoonie.
There we go. All right, we're back with the last half of the show. So it's a little loud. Where we at here? 1, 2. Testing. There we go.
Test.
So I'll run through this too quick. So everyone that's watching on Facebook, go ahead and send in some questions, and also if here at 2:45 you can call in and we'll open it up for probably three questions if we have time, and that number is 202-900-3990, and we'll start that at 3:45. So I believe John Stinson asked, he's got a 3-part question. Thoughts on wrapping, wrap during catering, foil versus butcher paper. John, if you're listening, I got to kind of... Now, thoughts on wrapping when? Are we talking about during the cook as far as like briskets? Are we going to wrap it after we get that color? Are we talking pork butts? That's a question in questions. So I'll just go ahead and... So my deal with wrapping, I wrap briskets in butcher paper. It is... So basically, once you get to your color... It's always color, not temp. You can get to 165, and that is my go-to temp before wrapping usually. If color's not there and that bark's not set, you'll push through it just a little bit more. But most of the time, my temp is around 156, 163 when my color is set on my briskets, and I do wrap in peach butcher paper. So yeah, brisket primarily. Okay, cool. So yeah, I wrap in butcher paper, and it'll stay wrapped all the way through the cook till 203 is my internal temperature that I use for the end of my brisket. Some people, say 198 if you're slicing, 205 if you're, chopping it up. I basically took the middle part because sometimes you might do 3 brisket slicing, 3. Make it easy. 203 is a good number. So yeah, I use butcher paper. A lot of people in the hot and fast competition series, they use the which camera am I at? This one. I'm looking at the wrong camera the whole time. No, it's okay. So they use foil since they're doing it so hot and fast, and that will work because it's not necessary. You're doing it so hot and fast, you don't have time for that bark to really get so moist from the moisture inside the foil and rub off. And John should, he probably attested that as well as Dan Woods, who's watching. But for pork butts, brisket and pork butts are the only thing other than ribs, and we can get to that another time or this time. Pork butts, same thing, wrap to color. And it's around the same time for me as well, 160s. And we do that in foil. I've always done it in foil. We're not slicing them up, needing really good bark. We're going to have that bark regardless when we're shredding it. And most of the time that bark is set if you do it right before you wrap it in that foil. And with that bone in there, it really heats it up. With that foil, you're going to get to your cook time the same as a brisket. Pork butt and brisket cook around the same amount of time. They're such thick cuts of meat, big hunks of meat. So yeah, pork butts foil, brisket, peach butcher paper. What was your other deal? So wrap deer and catering. So for me, for when I do my caterings, John, and for those out there that want to know, so everything goes, obviously, depending on the catering situation. If I'm doing a drop off, of course, everything's already going to be either sliced or chopped or whatnot. I put it in my foil pans, and then I wrap the top of the foil pans with clear film, so saran wrap, and that will hold that moisture in, keep the oxidation from hitting the brisket. So every time you see a brisket sitting on a tray at a restaurant or maybe even at home, and all of a sudden it's kind of dark, it's not as shiny, it doesn't have all that fat just glycering on it. That's from oxidization, and that's from the wind and the air hitting it and pulling out that moisture and just changing the color of it. So using the clear film keeps all that oxygen from hitting the meat and also keeps it moist in there. So I do a saran wrap on my foil pans, and then I cover it in foil as well on top of that. And I've had great success with that, and I've had some other catering buddies that have turned around and utilized that method as well. I had one gentleman that lined his foil pans with butcher paper for aesthetic purposes, and I let him know my thoughts. Hey, you're letting all these juices that are soaking out of this meat soak into the paper, so it's not just sitting in there redistributing itself into the meat. It's getting lost. It's going away. So get rid of that butcher paper, take the aesthetic part out of it, and keep that good end result and get rid of it. So he's listened to me, and he started using the clear film as well. Running out of breath. I feel like I'm running here. Step back. It's okay.
So, there's this really cool thing. Doc used to mentor all of us in radio, not etiquette, but radio, how to keep people engaged on the radio. And he was like, fast, slow, high, low. Basically, so you kind of change your speech patterns all the time.
Okay.
Fast, slow, high, low. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. I think I already do that, but I'm not sure. I don't know how to think about it when I'm trying to do it. So I guess I can't really practice what you're preaching, Doc. But, dude, I would pass out if I just kept talking the pace I'd like to talk.
Yeah, I can see how. I just wanted to keep on going. Thanks, John, for asking, for putting those questions out there for me to answer. So yeah, look for this tutorial Thursday. It's coming out this Thursday. I will have. I think I'm going to have a cool little intro video that I going to be using some music from a local country music artist that I have permission to use. So I mean, I got some really cool things that are going to come out as far as content and just interactive and relatable stuff for y'all out there in the Facebook world, Instagram world, and the internet world. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. We are broadcasting out to international radio, internet radio at that. So let's see what else we got. What else I got, Patrick?
Well, no. What was the first thing? So let's take us back through the history of how you started, cooking barbecue. What was the first thing that you learned to do on a barbecue, to smoke?
The first thing I did smoke was ribs.
Was it ribs? Yep. Okay.
That was the first thing. Video. And it's funny. I
killed the radio star. Yeah,
I did the exact same thing everyone else did. Was look at Aaron Franklin videos, but I also looked at Stephen Racklin. I think that's the last name, right? Racklin. Mm-hmm. Basically, I I Googled who are the best people out there that are grilling, smoking meat. Because obviously I want to learn from the best. And just like doctors and, they go to school and learn from books. And obviously it's coming from, content that is from people that know what they're doing, not just some normal guy on YouTube. So yeah, I wanted to educate myself using the best of the best. And
as long as Salt Bay didn't come up, you're good, man.
No, that was...
Dude, there's nothing like somebody sprinkling salt over their sweaty forearm after they've been butchering meat for 3 hours. Can I just tell you? He may be an interesting and somewhat accomplished butcher.
Just an internet mogul.
Watching that salt bounce off his hairy forearm is just not cool.
But yeah, so yeah, it was that's where I just sat down and I reviewed everything. How else do you learn, whether it's from a video or from a book?
I didn't know if maybe a family member. I didn't know if a family member was.
No, I think maybe I've said it before on your show. My grandma always was cooking in the kitchen, but it was never nothing other than it was nothing but barbecue. So I just took a common sense and applied it to what I learned on videos, which is same as someone learning in college with a book. And I learned quick. I pick on quick, and I obviously had the ability to do trial and error every single day. I went into this full time in May, so every single day was either wasting this meat, trying this one, perfecting. Not persistence. Well, it was always persistence.
Perseverance, baby.
Consistency of getting it right after getting it wrong so many times, and then knowing that's it. Don't sway away or don't steer away from something that's good, because a lot of people get so tied up in other stuff. They're like, oh, let me try this. Then all of a sudden, it's not as good as the first time. Mm-hmm. Write down your recipes. Put it in a book. Repetition.
You just said something really good there. You know how many times I've had a dish that somebody makes and it's their go-to, but it's never the same every time. It's something different. It's like, well, I don't change it. If it's your best recipe and people come to you for that,
consistency.
Write it down and stick to it, man.
Yep.
At home or at work.
Silence.
So Marie Danny had a question for you.
Okay.
What's your recommendation for a good rub that's not too salty for like baby back or St. Louis cut ribs?
Well, honestly, I'm not a huge salt fan.
Yeah, I'm really salt sensitive.
Now, I like sea salt is not as salty as iodized salt or even kosher salt. Mm-hmm. My go-to, where Marie is in Austin, right?
Mm-hmm. Think so.
She should be able to get Soca Busters there. Okay. There's Sweet O' Mine, and there's a lot of ones I could mention, but look up SocaBusters.com. Mm-hmm. Get Hogwaller or Hogwaller Honey. Or you could get Yardbird, which is by, I lost it. I'll do a rib video soon, and that'll have my takes, and then I'll give you a little cheat sheet laminated deal that has all kinds of wood for certain meats, seasonings for certain meats, my brand picks. I was supposed to bring one today.
So, son, can I tell you that's when you simplify the system, right? By having the best menus in the world are basically choose your protein, choose the rub, choose the way you want to prepare it, grilled, seared, broiled, whatever.
Right.
Choose your sides, choose a flavored butter if you want it or a sauce. And you're kind of breaking barbecue down into a format where it's 4 steps or 5 steps, right? Choose the cut, choose the rub, choose the meat, and then if there's a finish to that, I like it.
Yeah. And now, is she looking for a no salt completely?
You're going to have to answer her on email. I don't know.
Is she on Spony?
Yeah, I think she's on the Spony. You can answer off the air, I'm sure.
Because John reminded me, because I'm so focused on the things I use.
I don't think it has anything to do with no salt. I think it's just something that's not too salty.
That's not too salty. Uh-huh. Okay. Because Soca Busters they have no salt rubs options. They got something for everybody, and that's why I love it. That's something I can preach about, because I can touch any type of person with that one particular brand, and then it doesn't get me confused on, wait, was it Blue Hogs brand. I want to streamline every single thing that I talk about. So one, I don't get confused. Two, people trust me that, oh wait, he doesn't know what he's talking about. it keeps it better to kind of keep it all in one.
So it's funny because I paint myself in a corner sometimes. Like, you know what? Actually, I got to backtrack and let's recount what I just said and let's fix that.
Right.
But yeah, look, we're human. It's okay to make a mistake, and none of us knows everything. But I'm telling you, I'm ready to jump through this plexiglass and grab that duck fat right there.
That's good.
I know.
That's good.
Oh.
So I don't know if anyone out there has heard of all-season feeders. Now this might be a hunter category for people that hunt here in Texas or really anywhere. But all-season feeders, they've come out with some offset smokers as well as recently a pellet smoker. It's 1,080 square inches, and I possibly might be getting my hands on one to utilize for cooks and for the videos for Tutorial Thursdays. So I'm pretty excited about that ordeal. That's going to be pretty fun. And then also I heard I might be serving Casey Donahue's band here at the Country Network studio the first 2 weeks of September as well.
What?
Yep. Mr. Tim Eaton's getting me hooked up.
Dang, dude, you're getting all sorts of famous, aren't you?
I was just trying to do the right thing.
So Randy was in-house yesterday.
Uh-huh.
He came in and did a show for the first time in a while, and we chatted, and he was real excited to see you on the air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's Randy White. If you missed his show yesterday, you should go back and watch his show. It's Randy White's Into the Fire, and
just
that was Into the Fire. Yeah,
not literally into the fire, but
well, he's a live fire cooking guy.
Mm-hmm,
so
yeah.
He's a five-time qualifier for the World Food Championship.
Yeah, he'll be there this year. And that was another thing I was going to tell you. You can do your live broadcast at the World Food Championship since it's in Dallas.
I'm actually kind of been working on that deal for a while.
You going to try to be in it?
No.
Okay.
As far as the broadcasting goes, I can't let the cat out of the bag yet, Al. But we'll give you good stuff going on there, I think.
Okay. What else do I have? Okay, so questions and answers. It is 2:46. So I think Richard might have asked something, but anyways, let's get some calls in. If y'all are watching right now, call 202-900-3990. Something barbecue related, something that you just maybe do at the house that you're just stumped on. You're like, oh, I can't get this. I try every time. Or, hey, I got family coming over. What could I do to feed this number of people? Let's chit chat. So let's see how long until the phone rings. It might never ring, huh, Patrick?
Hey, I'm watching.
What did Richard say? I'm going to just go through the comments here, make sure I didn't miss something.
Wait, we have a caller on the line.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hello, this is Denise from Boston. How are you?
I couldn't,
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, man.
That was mean.
You need a mute button on that end for me is what you need.
I do.
Jeff used to do that. Jeff used to mute me all the time.
In there? Yep.
I'd be in the middle of a sentence.
So, Richard, let's see what you said. Oh, Richard said he had a fight for some duck fat spray at his local Walmart.
Randy's out. He's not happy. He uses the beep out of duck fat spray.
Oh, does he? Nice. Yep. Man, it's good. If y'all haven't used it, go to your local Walmart and grab you a can. I mean, it's...
Actually, he's not out. I didn't read the first part. I thought it just said out of duck fat spray. It says, no, I use the beep out of duck fat spray.
See, I'm looking at my watch party and you're looking at yours. So I don't see everything you're seeing on the Spoonie.
So we did have a question. It's not barbecue related, but someone, why hot sauce instead of something like duck fat or anything else?
I don't know. I've always just used and this is tri-tip only that I've ever used hot sauce. I'm not sure if maybe it's...
Which one do you put on there?
Whatever I have in the pantry, usually it's either Socobusters, their pepper sauce, or it'll be Tapatio. Tapatio is awesome.
I like that Mexican style hot sauces.
And I don't know, it doesn't necessarily give it any color. It's just something I've just always done from a recipe that I've gathered it from.
Oh, you got two callers. All right.
Really?
All right, caller one. Sorry, caller two. You can have to wait a second. And you're live.
Hello. I don't hear nobody.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, who am I
Brandon,
speaking with?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, this is Rich.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good. Is this Richard Brandt?
Awesome. No, it's the other Rich Frankel.
Okay,
and
how are you?
I had a question because I tackled two turkeys and a duck that was done in different ways for Thanksgiving.
You tackled them, you said?
The turkey. I grilled the turkey, and
I'm going to give you a little background on Rich.
But I want to find out.
Hey, Rich, how you doing? It's Patrick. Rich is quite the home chef with a amazingly diverse, cultural upbringing, and this dude can cook, man.
Well, I thought he was tackling them, and maybe they were really greasy, and he was having a hard time wrestling them.
But Rich also has he's got a lot of dietary restrictions.
Okay,
so I don't know where you're going with this, Rich. But
Go ahead, Rich,
I laid the groundwork. Yeah. Now you're up.
Okay, thanks. So how would you tackle a Thanksgiving turkey on the grill? And again, I have a grill that does not have the side box, so I just had to build my own type of smoking box in the bottom. But how would you work with something like that?
So first, for sure, I would spatchcock the turkey. Now, if you're going for the presentation of that traditional turkey where it's stuffed with all the stuffing in the backside and all that, either way, whether it's a spatchcock or your normal traditional stance from that turkey, that's how I would go about it, is spatchcocking, just to get that even temp. But if you have basically you just have a charcoal cooker, basically where you just put charcoal on the bottom and you got your gray on top. Well, you could always make it, if it's big enough, you could make an indirect and a direct side. So make your fire, push it all the way over, put some wood chips, and then put your turkey opposite side away from the fire, and do like an indirect cooking method with what you have now, with the equipment you have now. That would be the best way to go. And then plus you can also inject it. I think once we get closer to November, I will do a whole turkey, tutorial Thursday for a turkey, and the injection made with some rosemary. If I spill it all now, I won't have something to do later. But yeah, I would spatchcock the turkey if it was me, and use your coals on one side with some wood chips, and make an indirect side and a direct side on your charcoal smoker or cooker.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. Did you have something else on the duck? Because I don't know much duck. We can try it though. I haven't done duck yet. That's something I want to try.
I ended up using an air fryer for the duck, and did it with like a common kind of like orange type of treatment to it.
Okay.
And that turned out really well, but I was also really curious to do that on the grill, so maybe I'll try to tackle that next time. But I really liked how it turned out in the air fryer, and I did use injection on that, which was really nice.
And if you don't,
and then my brother had some maple syrup that we used as well, like that he had tapped. So it was really nice. It had a nice smoky, sweet flavor. It was really
awesome.
Good.
Well, thank you for calling in, and thank you for watching the show. If you're looking on Spoonie, make sure you get onto my my Facebook pages and stuff and follow along. And I'll make sure I do a turkey recipe here come October for everyone to do in November.
Awesome.
Good talking to you.
Will do. Thanks, Brandon.
All right, no problem.
And caller 2, you're up.
Hello.
Hey, Brandon. How are you?
Good, man.
Can you hear me?
Is this Dan? Hello?
No, this is Sean. How are
Sean.
you? Can you hear me?
Well, man, everybody sounds the same. I feel like I've known you before. Well, hello, Sean.
Oh, my goodness.
Awesome.
Hey, all right. So I've been wanting to know this question for a while, and I figure what better person. Chaos. And I don't know. Some people aren't a sauce person, but we're going to give this a shot anyway. I've been looking for another product to use as a base instead of ketchup that still gives me that thick texture or consistency, I guess you'd say. That might be unusual. I don't know if it's even a thing, if it's out there, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it. And if not, maybe, like, in my barbecue sauce, I'm totally untraditional. I use ketchup, I use vinegar, I'm using all kinds of things to make it turn out like it does.
So I think the very first part of your your comment kind of got cut out. Are you asking about you're looking for a different barbecue sauce to use, or you have a meat to pair with this barbecue sauce? So yeah, it cut out at first.
Okay. No, so I make my own barbecue sauce,
Okay,
and I'm looking for something to use as a base that's not traditional. Like I use ketchup for that thick consistency.
I got you.
But I don't know. I'm just looking for some other ideas, I suppose, maybe to either change it or make some an additional barbecue sauce, a different one.
That's a good question. Man, so yeah, that ketchup is one of the main ones everyone uses. Well, I wasn't prepared for this question, and shoot, here I got it.
Well, so I'll jump in real quick. If you don't want to use ketchup, you could kind of make your own ketchup, basically tomato paste, vinegar, whatever spices and herbs you want to put in there, seasoning,
brown sugar.
That would be, because tomato paste is actually pretty good thickener, and that would be a good base without actually having to use highly processed ketchup.
So when you use the tomato paste, would that be something that you would not have to reduce as much to get it thicker later?
No, because tomato paste is
depending on what else you add, I suppose.
Well,
right?
it's so condensed
right.
that and you would just need enough vinegar to loosen it up, and whatever other, like any kind of sugar or honey you put in there is going to act like a liquid as well when it melts. So
sure,
yeah, that would work.
So yeah, I think I missed that. So you use ketchup. You don't want it. You still want to use some tomato base. You just don't want to use ketchup. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Tomato. So Patrick already jumped in. I was so nervous here. I was like, well, I need to answer this correctly. Yeah, tomato paste for sure, and then water it down with maybe some Worcestershire.
You can't be nervous with us.
Well, the phone cut out right when you first started. So
right on.
To add with that tomato paste, get some au jus or beef consommé.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Oh gosh, I have a base. I don't make a base completely, obviously, with me being in catering or restaurant. Everything's so much bigger. It's not just a simple crock pot at the house that I make some sauce. I have a one base, but I water it, basically thin it down with au jus. So I use the packets of au jus, use the 3 cups water, 1 packet of au jus, and I mix that with my base of barbecue sauce that I obviously buy in bulk through my distributor, and adding that beef flavor. I think there's Louis Mueller out down in Taylor, Texas. His dipping sauce or barbecue sauce for his brisket and his beef rib is I think it's straight au jus. So yeah, that would be perfect. Beef consommé or beef au jus or beef broth. I mean, just anything beef that's kind of water, not vinegar. That'll help cut that thickness for your barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I think that. I don't know why I had never thought about the tomato paste, but yeah, I like that idea.
That's what we're here for.
With what you're saying with the au jus.
For sure.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Brandon.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good day.
Hey, you too. Oh, okay. So Stephen Carter said, love the Yoder YS640. Did I talk about my Yoder today? I don't have it no more, though. Patrick, any more calls? We got 1 minute, 46 seconds left. I doubt we're going to get anything on with that.
Nah, nope.
What we got next time, guys?
Shut her down, Earl. She's pumping mud.
So we got Rahr and Sons Brewery this Saturday. I will be at their tour this Saturday from 1 to 3. I'll be doing some pulled pork tacos with a mango chipotle slaw and some guacamole salsa, as well as green onion sausage sandwiches. And I'll be at Rahr and Sons Brewery in Fort Worth from 1 to 3 on this Saturday. Other than that, we'll have Tutorial Thursday coming out this Thursday. It will be, I can give you, ahead of time what it is. The smoked Gouda grits with the lobster tail and some Axis backstrap. Of course, you can substitute that backstrap with some other steak, filet mignon. I mean, you can do a beef tenderloin. Slice up some medallions and throw it on top of there. Jump on my Instagram at Rack Attack BBQ or the TX Barbecue Show or Rack Attack BBQ on Facebook. So many of them. You'll find me on social media and you'll see the pictures, and I will post that this Thursday. thank y'all for joining me. Thanks for giving me the time for the second episode of season 1. And I hope to be able to do a lot of stuff this week to talk about next week. And feel free to leave comments of what I missed, what I could have talked about, and we'll see y'all next week, foodies.
Thanks
did
again,
I end
Brandon.
that too early?
Yeah, it's okay. Hey, look, 15 seconds isn't a big deal. But yeah, good job, man. Great show. Lots of information. I can't wait to see those recipes.
I love that call in. That was awesome. That
It's
made
cool,
me
isn't
feel
it?
cool.
Makes you feel like a professional.
Peace.